What you say, Sil? Should we do the thing now? The teams I push are the same ones you bring down. The ponies I praise you wouldn't even sing about. But watch somebody come back from the brink now. Hey, what you say, Sil? Should we do the thing now? Some squads switch up and that's the thing now. You can be anything now, but consistent, I guess that's the only mission for a king now. And who's a king? Who's just a jester? Who reminds me of Devin Hester? Who's playing like they left her, hitting hoes for pleasure, while y'all search yours for treasure to no measure. I find mine with less effort and no sweat work. The best perk is that I'm always right. My opinion shouldn't cause a fight, but they might out at night cause your QB bites. So now it's on sight, I'm just looking down sights, waiting for a slip up. Dog, your shoelaces make you trip up, so you should find a zip up and pull it to where your fucking list was. Check yourself, this ain't get up, it's been up since the last countdown. Working on the fucking craft that they always count out. This is down now but not out, so what you talking about? Don't get it twisted, I'm pulling switches like a pilot. I'm not flying, I'm just driving. I'm smiling cause life is gravy, stuff with struggles, but that's what fucking made me. Haters with turkeys, eating wormies, they ain't worthy, they do me dirty. But I'm not Brock Purdy, more like Tom Shirley. I know you heard me, but did you hear me? I said I know you heard me, but did you hear me? My dumb ass. Am I good? Hey, what you say, sir? Should we do the thing now? The teams I push are the same ones you bring down. The ponies I praise you wouldn't even sing about. But watch somebody come back from the brink now. Hey, what you say, sir? Should we do the thing now? So swatch this up and that's the thing now. You can be anything now, but consistent, I guess that's the only mission for a king now. Hey, and who's the king? Who's the king? Who's the king? Put your rain down. Man, I don't care what you think about. Get out my chest, that's the thing about. We back. It's the most anticipated show of every week. It used to be the good countdown. Now it's the power ranking. Where did me and Sil put your team? Did they even make the list? Did they get kicked off the list? I don't know. All I know is my Patriots made one list and they're beating my co-host team. How do you doing tonight, Sil? How you feeling about that, man?
At this rate, we'll talk about the Patriots. At this rate, they need to be at the top of that list you're talking about.
Oh,
real soon,
man.
real soon.
Oh man, we have to talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. I didn't know you felt that way. Oh my goodness.
No, it's going that direction.
It is going that direction. You're not wrong, dude. But yo, thanks Israel for being here in the chat. Thanks everyone for watching and the replay. Watching the replay. I know Daniel Barry will be here soon. He'll be like, yo. And right now the syndicate is live on four different platforms if you count Still Nation Sports Network. What? I know Necron's live, and I think Skywalker is actually his premiere right now of a pre-recorded podcast. So we're doing it on all levels right now, bro. Sports,
and all the algorithms,
music. Yeah, exactly. Give us all the engagement. But man, the list, I was doing my list today before you. And I felt really good about it. And then I got your list. And I'm like, man, it's like the same damn list. What the fuck? How does this possible? Almost the same damn list.
So I was like, all right, we're not too far off on how we feel. But I did this morning. The first thing we'll get into is my Mount Passmore. I was doing that today, and I was looking at the list, and not a lot has changed. Although I will say Russell Wilson's kind of making his name known now, and CJ Stroud is up there on the list, but the same as last week basically. And I tell everyone like what really happened. That it's Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, and Brock Purdy again. Those are your 4 best quarterbacks up till this point in the season at week 13. And we got Josh Allen right there, first in TDs, third in yards, third in QBR. Brock Purdy's basically leading everything at this point. We'll save him for last. And we got Dak Prescott, who's playing probably his best season of his career. Second in completion percentage, second in touchdowns, second in QBR, second in QBR rating. So, I mean, he's solidified himself now as like somebody who's up there. It's Brock Purdy, and then it's like Dak Prescott in a lot of categories. And then Tua is like right below both of them on a lot of categories. He's 4th in yards, 3rd in completion percentage, 3rd in touchdowns, and 4th in quarterback rating. So it's really the top 4 is these 4. And then Brock Purdy again, leading QBR, leading the quarterback rating, leading completion percentage, all the things that really matter as far as being a passing quarterback. Everything else doesn't really matter. All right. It doesn't matter how many times you hand the ball off. You have no part in what goes on after that. Okay. What matters to me as a quarterback is how you make decisions with the football and how efficient you are with those decisions. And these numbers to me really portray that. Obviously, you got to have a winning record too to be kind of on this list, but you don't find yourself on this list unless you have a winning record. So I just wanted to go over these quarterbacks again, give them their shout out. Josh Allen still playing good, even though he lost. I mean, that was the best loss they had all season, realistically, that overtime loss. And, Tua's still slinging it, even though they had a down week. The Dolphins defense is kind of keeping them in the games this season, and I guess they're playing the Jets, and they didn't really have a lot of offense. They had 2 touchdowns off of 2 pick sixes that game. So he is still where he is. But then we have the honorable mentions of this week. Russell Wilson's there again, but I added in Patrick Mahomes and CJ Stroud because CJ Stroud is leading in some categories, but not the important ones, not the ones that, QBR quarterback rating, but he's leading. He's up there in touchdowns. He's leading in yards right now. So he is playing great as a rookie quarterback. It cannot go like not mentioned. So here's me mentioning it. And Russell Wilson, obviously, he is the game manager, the ultimate game manager. You said they got the formula there in Denver, and you're absolutely right, man.
Yeah.
And it's given Russell Wilson good numbers as far as QBR and completion percentage goes. And then Patrick Mahomes, he's doing everything he possibly can, but catching the ball. So he's got honorable mentions too. I think he'd be in the top a lot of these categories, if not in the top 3. But it's just because there all these throws that aren't being caught, man. Those are yards. Those are touchdowns that add up.
I'm going to say just slightly. I'm going to push back slightly here with the Patrick Mahomes. Even he admitted he's not throwing his best stuff either. Like, and now this could be some unfamiliarity. Like you don't have like veterans like Juju, Smith-Schuster and people like that. Fair. So, so I'm just saying it's like, we see the drops, but I can't put it all on the receiver. Like all of a sudden they don't know how to catch anymore at all. Like it's all they hit.
Right,
it's like it's got to be more of just their timing, and you know what I mean. It's going to take some time now. But I'll just say my slight critique with the Mount Passmore here. So I can't have Patrick Mahomes in the consideration. I just can't. He's out of honorable mention for me. But let's go back to the top 4 here. Josh Allen's turnovers. I refuse. I love Josh Allen as a player. It's a talent. He is not top 4 to me just because of compared to his other quarterbacks. It's just his turnovers, are going to, be that's going to push me back as far as with Josh Allen.
I'm with you there.
Now I know you don't have it all in particular order, but each week I go by the eye test, and I'm saying right now Dak Prescott's playing best cute quarterbacking right now. If we stop the season right now, Dak Prescott is playing the best, slightly edging out Tua Tagovailoa. Brock Purdy is only behind them because of just the yardage thing. I think they all have similar QBR, similar, like interception rates and things like that. So those like my 3, Dak, Tua, Brock, and I'm ready to put the young gun in there, CJ Stroud. He'll be right number 4 right now on your Mount Passmore. Honorable mention, Russell Wilson. We got to give Russell Wilson some love. So I totally agree. The formula is limiting his numbers, but you can't argue with efficiency, and he's not throwing the ball away. Got to give it to Russell Wilson. This is one of his best years. This is so wild to even say that. It's one of his best years he's having. Last, I know you don't like running quarterbacks, dual quarterbacks, but Lamar Jackson is still up there for me. Though again, he's not quite having the amount of pass attempts. His QBR is less than CJ Stroud's. He's limited turnovers, and he's at the quarterback position, still making it happen, even with his legs. Lamar Jackson, the honorable mention, but obviously, those 3, Dak, Tua, Brock, you can't go wrong with any of those 3 guys, man.
Yeah. And if I was to take Josh Allen out of there, I would put Russell Wilson in there. The only reason why I keep him in there, though, is because as of late, he didn't get on this list until last week when they finally got a win. But he hasn't been turning the ball over. And I know, the issue is the Bills, as far as formula goes, with certain teams and how they run their offense, I mean, they live and die by Josh Allen. So they put everything on his back, and oftentimes that can lead to turnovers. But as of late, Josh Allen's been playing better, and when you're first in touchdowns, you're scoring the most out of all the other quarterbacks. I gotta give you some love. But yeah, if I was to take him off, I'd put Russell Wilson up there, actually, just because Russell Wilson is higher in QBR and quarterback rating than CJ Stroud. And I think he also has more yardage, which you wouldn't expect. The only reason I think Brock Purdy, he doesn't need to have as many yards either as these other 2 quarterbacks. He's got CMC, bro. Debo Samuel. You don't need to pass as much. And he's still, playing great. So I agree with you, dude. I think Dak Prescott's probably playing his best football right now. It's pretty purdy. Yeah, dude. I mean, you can't be mad about having they got a Tom Brady out of the draft, realistically. No one's saying that, but they got a Tom Brady. They got a late round pick who nobody cared about and nobody thought was anything, and he's like one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. That's what happened.
I mean, it's people get mad about the system and all these weapons. Hey, man, first you only can use what you got right there, but that doesn't automatically make him just because he has good weapons, that doesn't make you an accurate thrower. You have to put in the work. You know what I mean? You have to know the playbook. You got to know how to read defenses, and that's what he's doing. And we only saw, if we're going to be fair, we only saw Purdy struggle mostly against the Browns, which has a top 3 defense. Everyone else, he's done decent. He's probably had moments against the Vikings defense, which is good. Just their offense sucked last night. But so he struggled against tough defenses. Let's sue him. Let's dock him, for struggling against tough NFL defenses. Come on now.
And those games though, when he did struggle against those good defenses, his defense struggled against the other offense, which is weird. You could go back to that Bengals game, it was 31-13 or something like that. So there's been some tough losses that the 49ers have faced this year, but they don't look like they're, our power rankings kind of reflect that. They don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. They took their losses right when they needed to, all 3 all in a row, and then no more. And then the next list we got to get into is the bottom 5. And I want to hear your reasoning. Obviously, the record's going to a lot of it. But I don't know if I did this right. Did you take the Cardinals out of here, bro? Did you take the Cardinals?
The Cardinals is out.
Okay.
The Cardinals is out only because the Cardinals with Kyler Murray back, that gives them that hope, right? So they're out of that until they have another bad loss or something. Then we'll see. But they are going to end up with they're going to end up with a bottom 5 record, so it'll all even out. I think, let me see. I wanted the Titans actually out of this honorable mention because I think they're going to be rather competitive the rest of the way. I'll start with out of the doghouse. Out of the doghouse, the Packers. Got to give them love. They're a game out of the playoffs. I can't diss them anymore. They're at a huge win, division win. Kind of expose the Lions, expose the NFC North, because then the Vikings lose against my Bears. So You know, that division wasn't as clear cut as, you know, as far as just like a clear gap. I mean, yeah, the Lions are the better team because they're the most complete.
Right.
But they haven't dominated their conference. That is what it is, right? So,
yeah,
Packers, you know, props to y'all. Y'all out of the bottom 5. Y'all probably won't come back. Y'all battling that NFC. The bottom of the NFC is very interesting now because
we'll take a look at that
now. Yeah, Dad's back, so that's going to be interesting to see what happens, right? But as far as with the bottom 5, you know, it's all about the Panthers losing. Now, what's going to kind of hurt this now that they fired their coach, and sometimes that has a positive effect on the next game. So they may get another win or two. Instead of ending up with 1 win, they may end up with 3, which is kind of upsetting, right? So we'll see. But of course, we're rooting for them to lose out because my Bears get their pick. But Belichick's like, oh, I could do one better. I can lose out too. And so the Patriots are probably playing somehow worse than the Panthers, which I don't know how that's possible. The Patriots you don't know. If you don't know, you know, who your quarterback is, it means you don't have one.
You have no identity.
Yeah. At least the Panthers know Bryce Young's our guy. He has, you know, some Kyler Murray about him. He has an arm. Bryce Young does. He's getting you know, not the fairest rap because he didn't have the good coaching staff that CJ Stroud's getting with the Texans. He actually has a solid coach with the Texans. D'Amico Ryans has a good offensive coordinator. They drafted weapons well. They drafted defense well. So it just CJ Stroud ended up with a better organization. And that's too bad for Bryce Young. I'm cheering for him next year because I don't have to worry about our pick next year. So hopefully he bounces back. And like I said, I address your Patriots. They suck. My Bears, though they won, that was one of the worst losses probably in my lifetime as a Bears fan. Like I felt bad. I felt bad. I felt bad for NFL fans everywhere that y'all had to watch. I knew how bad my team was, but for us to get a win for that, it's
12 to 10, dude. That was the ending score.
That's like, and having 2 turnovers like in 2 minutes in the fourth quarter, like that's insane. 2 fumbles.
Yeah,
obviously we didn't deserve to win that game, but I just felt like we cheated the game. Like the football gods is going to get us for that game. So I'm just bracing for, I don't know, we may not end up with the number 1 pick just because we shouldn't have won. So that juju's going to go to the Panthers. They're going to win a couple games and screw this all up.
Come
Giants,
on, Patriots.
I think the Patriots have really got to get that number 1. But DeVito with the Giants, QB, he's the Jersey sensation. I was watching
Italian, the Paisan
football. Yeah, I was watching NFL football. Was it Good Morning Football? NFL Network. He has a sandwich named after him. Now you know you make it in New York when you get a sandwich made after you. They got the DeVito special, so it's like a chicken parmesan, like with some what do they call it, and some kind of sauce on it. It'll come to me. It'll come to me in a minute. But it sounded good. But anyway, DeVito sounds great. They're staying competitive. Saquon looks happy, meaning they're probably going to pay him on the offseason. Okay. But they're still in the bottom 5 because they haven't beat a good team. So you stay right there. The Commanders, you know, they sell their defense and say, man, why we keep losing? It's like what do you sold your defense? Like you got rid of
how'd you keep winning? How'd you keep winning those first couple of weeks? That's what I want to know.
It's so weird. So they belong in the bottom 5. But that I will say the Titans, they may jostle with them because they play good one week and then look like a bottom 5 next week. So we'll see. That's the bottom 5 there. MVP candidates, I'm still keeping Lamar Jackson right there because this team is really close to being the number 1 on my power rankings. You keep winning, you keep being efficient as a quarterback. You know, you're orchestrating. I know it wasn't the prettiest looking game against the Chargers, but Lamar controlled the tempo of the entire game. So it's really nice to see. And then you look at the other side with Justin Herbert. He's just like, oh, what am I supposed to do? I'm panicking. So it's like to see that contrast. I was like, okay, this is the pro over here. This is the MVP candidate. And then this is the guy that he doesn't know what he's doing in his 3rd year still. So Lamar Jackson, they keep winning. He's going to be on top. But Dak Prescott has entered the arena. I mentioned on the Passmore list that I think he's playing the best at the position just right now. A couple weeks, this could change. If he beats the Eagles, he beats the Lions. They play the Dolphins. That's going to be a shootout. That can get Tua back on that list. Tua needs a big win. Tua needs this for him to get up there. And then number 3, CJ Stroud, he dropped just a bit because they took a loss. So, and Dak's playing that well, so I had to put the rookie down some. CJ Stroud to get MVP, I said he has to win his division. That may be a long shot, so he may drop out next week.
That's fair.
In the next couple of weeks here, but the numbers are there. The effect on the team is there. Even when he has a bad game, he's throwing 300 plus. That's insane.
I know.
So that's my top 3 for now, but expect that to be fluid coming up.
That's fair enough. I mean, and we're right in the thick of it where either really good games or consistent games continue to happen for these quarterbacks, or they have a really bad game that'll take them out, which it's not out of the realm of possibility. The any given Sunday cliche is there for a reason, right? Because anything really can happen on any given Sunday. I agree with you, though. Lamar Jackson didn't need to ball out on that game against the Chargers. They had it won pretty convincingly. Dak Prescott, I would say I might even put him a little bit higher, if not just the fact that the Ravens are leading the AFC right now, and obviously the Cowboys aren't leading the NFC,
right,
and not even leading their division because against the Eagles. But yeah, definitely playing like an MVP right now, and playing. I said it earlier, playing his best football that we've ever seen him play. And then CJ Stroud, if not an MVP candidate for people, he's your surefire rookie of the year. I mean, by far, Yeah. So it's funny that he's so good that we got him in the MVP discussions. So shout out to CJ Stroud balling out. Almost won against the Jaguars. It was a close game. It wasn't a blowout. And real quick before we get into the power rankings, to talk about, how you said you were talking about the Bears and you felt bad for people watching that game. Well, I felt bad for all of us who watched the Chargers versus Ravens game, and that was supposed to be a shootout too. But that level of bad football just goes along with the comments that have been circulating and everyone having an opinion on them from Tom Brady, talking about there's a lot of mediocrity. And then everyone wants to call that game really bad, but doesn't want to. Oh, right. Didn't Tom say something about this? Yeah. You're seeing it, guys. You're seeing it. 12-10 on Monday night primetime. That's what we're looking at. It's not just the other primetime game was 20-10, which isn't a great, watch either. So that's just what it is. The best games right now are at the 425 slot. Coming up this week, there's a big game. We'll look at both those schedules, the 49ers versus Eagles. We'll take a look at that. Yeah. Big game between the NFC, stalwarts right there. That's 1 and 2. So let's get into the actual power rankings. Let me turn this music back up here. And let's see how people will react to this list, bro. Because I know someone's gonna be mad about mine. And you haven't even seen mine yet. But one team in particular also had to get kicked off of my list as well. They dropped on Sills. They dropped it right off of my list. They were gone. But we both got the Eagles at number 1 as necessary, right? It's the Eagles. They're the best in the league. They've lost once, and they clinched the playoffs. They first team this season to clinch a playoff berth. They've already done it, the Eagles. So we both got them at number 1, and then I'll let you take it on from there. Tell me why everybody went up and the Lions went down, bro.
Well, I mean, it's kind of clear why the Lions went down, right? But just real quick, it's funny that the Sparta kick for you. That's amazing. I want to address my Sparta kick real quick. The Browns, though they have, pretty much a winning record in contention for the division, we know what's going to happen. No quarterback, no top 10. So that's why the Browns are out. Bubble squad briefly. The Bills are on the come up. If they would have won that game, obviously they would have really been in the top 10. They're right there. Don't count the Bills yet. They only half came out of the playoffs. And my coach is actually the 7th seed. I think the Texans are a better team right now. I gotta be honest with that. That's why I have the coach just on the outside looking in, waiting for somebody to slip up. But likely they need the Texans to lose, and then I will, put the coach up there. So as far as the top 10, like you mentioned, Eagles, best record. No one's going to argue about that, right?
Yeah, you can't.
Let's see if that changes. After this week, right? Ravens, number 2. They are the best AFC team, the most complete team. the most probably complete defense. Like, they made that game against the Chargers ugly, but it was like still beautiful somehow. That's how the Ravens won the game. It was very weird watching it because I was like, man, this is ugly. It feels very stagnant. And then Zay Flowers takes one to the house. Like, okay, that's all we wanted, just some explosive play. Like, come on. You know? So Ravens at number 2 until further notice. I don't see the Chiefs being better, having a better record than them when it's said and done. I don't see anyone catching them. I think the Dolphins are a little bit too soft for them. The Ravens are I'll just say it right now. The Ravens should be in the Super Bowl this year. We'll talk about the NFC.
Yeah.
The Ravens, they have no reason not to be in the Super Bowl this year. So you catch Mahomes when he's down, okay? This is the year too.
This is the year.
Number 3, the 49ers made this painful trek back. There was a month off the top 10 list, taking all these L's. They climbed, well, at least they was under 5. They climbed their way up to the top 5. Now they're at number 3, just in time for this huge matchup against the Eagles, where they're favored in Philadelphia. We'll talk about that game.
Crazy.
We're going to have plenty of time to talk about that. Everyone is drinking the 49ers Kool-Aid. It's not just Israel. It's everyone. It's on the 49ers. But they're a beast of a team, man. So top 3. Chiefs, though I've been kind of down on them, I can't put the Cowboys over them, so I got to put the Chiefs at number 4. So number 4, Chiefs. Hey, it's still Patrick Mahomes, and this is the best defensive unit he's ever had, which if I'm Mahomes, you're probably thinking, like, man, if I could just figure out a couple of these receivers, bro, like, we could beat anyone. We have the defense, you know, so I just don't see them figuring this out if they face those Ravens. So, like we mentioned, Cowboys, number 5. The Eagles take a couple L's this upcoming week. Dak playing MVP level. Can they climb up in the top 3? It's very possible. It's a path. It's a path in the top 3. The Lions fell off. Cowboys can really, but you got, to be the man, you got to beat the man. So you got to beat those Eagles in a couple weeks. So that's what the Cowboys got to do. Dolphins, kind of just by default. I can't put them in the top 5 because they haven't beat anyone quality yet. Sort of just like the Cowboys too, but it's just like, hey, they're still winning, so you can't just totally discount them. So the Dolphins, greatest show on turf right now, and they need a quality win. And in a couple weeks, those 2 teams are going to play, Cowboys, Dolphins. That's going to be a really good game. Jags, I've been disrespecting the Jags all year. Tough team. I love Travis Etienne, one of the best weapons in the game as well. Don't love the quarterback. I've been pretty clear how much I feel about Trevor Lawrence. It just is what it is, man. I'm not a fan of that guy, right? But his team is good, and as long as he plays smart, uses his legs, he's started to do that more. After that knee injury, he's gotten healthy. So hey, he's playing his style. He just don't make him have to make a throw to beat you because he's not going to make that throw, right? All right. Lions tumbled down. They're still in my top 10 only because they have a very complete team. And the NFC probably is a little softer. Not, I won't say softer. Like the NFC is a worser division than the AFC. So the Lions are up there because they're better than all these other NFC teams, right? So number 8, I don't see them rising. I can see them staying in the top 10 because they're going to win their division. They're going to hopefully be who they're supposed to. We'll see. This may be short-lived. We'll see with the Lions, right? Man, Broncos. Got to give love to the Broncos, but this is becoming a great story. Sean Payton was shitting on the former regime of the Broncos, saying it was a terrible coaching. They just did a terrible job last year, and he starts off 1-5. And they're like, "Oh, Payton, what you got to say?" Hey, this is about legacy. Sean Payton, put his DNA on this team. They turned it around. I gotta give props where it's due.
Coach of the year,
top 10, Russell Wilson. Yeah, I mean, I think you gotta start looking at that because you look at the talent of the roster and just the adversity they went through, and then hey, don't let the Chiefs lose another game. The Broncos won the first game against them. They can mess around and catch the Chiefs in that division, which would be very interesting in the AFC.
Crazy.
Was that AFC West? Texans, I mentioned before, in conjunction with the Colts, AFC South. The Jags should win that division, but the Texans and Colts are duking it out for a wild card. I just say you put ahead of me these 2 rosters, Texans, Colts. I'd rather CJ Stroud. I'd rather the Texans coaching. I like the Colts running game. I like their defense. So it could be kind of a wash. I just think neutral field, Texans will beat the Colts. So that's why that's kind of a coin flip. Yeah, kind of a coin flip. Number 10, that could change, interchangeable each week right there. And when the Bills get together, then a few of these teams going to drop off this top 10. So that's a top 10 for now, and I expect major shakeup after these games this week.
There's going to be the end of the season here. They did it for a reason. They had the most meaningful games, the division games that are going to shake up the playoff rates the most at the end of the season here. We got 4 weeks left, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they play out. 4 or 5 weeks left, actually, including this week. So we have a very similar list, except for me, I'm always going week to week, right? And yes, I agree with the majority. Our top 5 is the same. It's just where you have them. And I have the Eagles number 1, obviously. I put the Cowboys above the Ravens because being that this is the power rankings, I'm going off of who has the most power. And Cowboys, only team actually this season that's consistently scored over 40 points in multiple games. The Ravens only scored 20 points last game. And they only won by 10 points. So they didn't have that much power this weekend. The Cowboys scored 45 points against the Commanders 10. Well, the Chargers only scored 10 as well, but the Ravens only scored 20. So that's how I based that off. And I put the 49ers are just stayed where they're at number 4. And I have the Cowboys and the Ravens above them. I know the 49ers beat the Cowboys earlier this year. However, that was way back in week 5, week 4, and the Cowboys gave the 49ers a run for their money, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not, all bad for the Cowboys fans. If you're looking at the 49ers in the playoffs, I think they're looking for a rematch. Honestly, they wouldn't be mad if they got the 49ers in the playoffs. So I got them ranked at number 2. Like we talked about Dak Prescott, he's playing well. If they can figure out a running game, they can really be, an unstoppable offense. But, Tony Pollard's got to get healthy, and they got to figure some things out there. But they got a good defense. It's creating turnovers for them. It's just we got to see how they play when they do start to play these good teams coming up, because maybe they benefited from their schedule, but at the same time, they haven't slept on any of these teams they're supposed to beat. They beat them pretty handedly. So I'm giving them the credit for that. And then, Ravens, they dropped the spot, still the best team in the AFC, and they still have, probably the best defense, the most dynamic quarterback in my eyes. I think he's more dynamic than Patrick Mahomes. Not that he can make as many throws or anything, but I think he's more dynamic and can make more explosive plays for you. But I have them at 3, 49ers at 4, Chiefs staying there at 5. They got a nice win, pretty convincing win for them, but I want to see more consistency out of you. Me and you left the Chiefs where they're at because we're just all right, good win. Now keep it going. We wanted to drop you down more, but we'll see how, the Chiefs fare out. It's one of those years where Patrick Mahomes is having a down year, but they have a really, really good defense. So that's something to be. If anybody else is in the AFC, I'm scared of that because Patrick Mahomes can figure it out any time he wants to, and he can make all those plays that you don't want him to. So I'd be scared of that because the defense can shut down anybody right now, and they're showing that. And then the Dolphins actually went up. We both got them at 6. 6 and 7 are the same for us. Dolphins got a W, a pretty convincing W. Defense is playing well, got them the win basically that game. Jaguars got a very tough win on the road against the Texans, so they jumped up 2 spots for me, and they're leading their division again. It's just who are you gonna be? Trevor. I was about to call him Justin Herbert. No, Trevor. Trevor Lawrence. And it's who? Yeah, same thing. Yeah. The look of bewilderment. Are we gonna see that more come playoff time, or are we gonna see confident Trevor Lawrence? And obviously, I made a joke about it on Sunday, but I think Calvin Ridley literally chose number 0 so he could be a big fucking target for himself. He's got a target. Just throwing the ball, and it worked out well for them. ETN Jr. is obviously playing well for them, playing lights out for them too. So Jaguars on the move. I think they can play if we're going against the Dolphins in the first round or any time in the playoffs. Realistically, since they're leading their division, I would put them up against the Dolphins and that have a day. we've seen the Jaguars have a day and score a lot. So, hey, we got to give them credit where it's due. Broncos, we have both burst the bubble, dude. You're in a 5-game win streak, and if you don't make our top 10 on that, I mean, you got
that's
the
rigged
leading,
at that point.
yeah, right. We're just hating at that point. We're really just hating. But Broncos got to show them love. Russell Wilson's playing his best QB play of his career right now. Not season-wide, but right now, his last couple of weeks, he's playing very efficiently. They've figured out the formula. Don't let him pass it over 30 times. If you can keep it under 20, even better. And then run the ball, have a very good defense that gets you turnovers. I think in the last, what was it? I heard the stat today. The last 4 weeks, they have something like 14 turnovers on the defense. It's like crazy numbers. They've just been doing it.
Their defense woke up. Side note, this is a team that gave up 70 points to the Dolphins earlier this year.
Had to get
this
smacked.
Young team, young defense, right? They woke up. So I got to give them props.
Absolutely. And they're at number 9 for me. And I actually got the Steelers at number 9. I'm sorry. Broncos are at 8. As Steelers at 9. Steelers back. They're up. I had them at 10 last week. They're finding ways to win, man. Without Matt Canada, first game in 53 games that they had over 400 yards of offense. Now, I think they only scored like 17 points.
16
like
points.
16
right.
points,
so
yeah.
That's what bothered me. That's what bothered me is that
I get that.
Your quarterback still has to, orchestrate this. And I still do not believe in Kenny Pick 6. Still don't.
I get that. I get that. I'm giving credit more so to Mike Tomlin and the defense and finding ways to win. They're in the Ravens division, man. They're not going to be at the top of it at the end of the day. But don't look now. They're 7-4, and the Ravens are 8-3 or 9-3. I'm sorry. So anything could happen, man. Anything could happen. I wouldn't. We would all be laughing at the end of the season if the Steelers win this division somehow.
That would be crazy.
After firing Matt Canada. And then we both got the Texans there down at number 10, just like last week. They lost to the Jaguars, but that was for the division. That was a division game. Jaguars came to play, and the Texans, they didn't lose. They lost by 3 points. I mean, they
missed field goal.
Yeah, missed field goal. I mean, that's what it came down to. So we can't like discredit them for not trying. They didn't come and lay an egg. And CJ Stroud's still balling out. Tank Dell's still catching passes out of the rafters. Like we gotta love this team, and I love it because hey, out of all the mediocrity in the football league that we've seen so far this season, the Texans were one that we expected probably to be mediocre, and they're not. No. They're playing very good this season, so we got to give them credit and clap it up for the Texans. And then we got Sparta kick, bro. This for both of us. We both got the Browns on the Sparta kick, and I had to get rid of the Lions, bro. They fell and they kept falling for me, and then ultimately I was like, you know what? You lost against the Packers on Thanksgiving. You almost lost against the Bears.
And you shouldn't lose to the Bears.
No.
This is Money Train James. All right.
That's me.
Just put his head. Now that's Austin's list. I still got the Lions in top 10, but now I don't expect them to beat. You don't expect them to win out, but they got to beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and they struggled against teams they were supposed to be in their division as well. Bad loss, man. Yes, I don't blame you kicking them out. Usually you're drastic with these, but I don't blame you for this. I don't blame you.
And we both kicked the Browns out because we knew that was coming, though. We knew that was coming. We kind of forecasted that for a while. Yeah. And the game of the week, I want to look at their schedules real quick because the game of the week, it's the 49ers versus Eagles. So let's pull up the 49ers schedule real quick and take a look.
This.
You see that they won against the Seahawks, got that win at the top. They're playing in Philadelphia, like Sil said. They're somehow favored when they're playing in Philadelphia
by 3 points. They're favored by 3, meaning people are putting more money on the 49ers. That may end up being 3.5, which is virtually saying, they really think the 49ers, and this is in Philly. They're going in there and beating them. That's
they're
what
winning.
everyone's thinking, bro.
They're winning. We just don't know by how much. That's what 3.5 means. They're probably gonna win.
Right.
We just don't know by how much. And then so they got the Eagles. That's obviously week 13. But then
I say that's a win.
Win. You say it's a win. And then back home against Seahawks, it's a win. Away against Cardinals, that's a win. And then Ravens though. Ravens are gonna come win at home against the Ravens.
I gotta go with the 49ers at home right there.
That's a Sunday night game. That's a win. Okay. And then on Christmas, they're gonna go against the Commanders. That's a win. And then back home, TBD week 18 versus the Rams. That's another win. So they got like maybe one loss. They could win out.
I say they could win out. You beat these. You go into Philly and live up to what Vegas is saying. I don't see them losing at home the rest of the way, and they got an easy road schedule. So yeah, they're still gonna be playing for something week 18. The Rams. Now I will say that let me caveat this. If the Rams are still, like playing for something, that can be a very interesting game because, the Niners, I'm pretty sure they got to still win that last game. And the Rams, this is a division game. If one team that figures out the 49ers is Sean McVay and the Rams, they know this 49ers team. So the first game they played this season was very close when the kids were still growing up. Kyron Williams is back. I thought he was questionable. Well, he was. They put him there. He got his greatest. He had like a Marshall Faulk last week.
Yo, facts.
I'm not gonna sleep on a division game at home. And actually, let me back up.
Cardinals
against I'm gonna give them that against the Cardinals. I'm gonna give them that one. The Ravens at home against the Ravens only because Lamar Jackson has some crazy record with him versus the NFC where they don't have enough game tape and scheme on him, and he goes crazy with any NFC team. I'm gonna give Ravens a win with that, and let's question mark the Rams. So worst case scenario, you're 12-5, best case 13-14, which may not be number one in the NFC when it's all said and done.
Just because the Eagles, just because they haven't lost much, they've lost once, and the Eagles have a pretty. I mean, the rest of their division isn't really that hard besides the Cowboys. So we're gonna take a look at their schedule in just a second, but I will say, everyone, and I mentioned the Cardinals because Kyler Murray would love to F up this season for the 49ers. And as much as you said, the division game at home. If the Rams can mess up the season a little bit for the 49ers too, knowing that they're out of the playoffs, they would love to do that. They're not just going to go in there and sit down. So yeah, that you don't want to sleep on that. And the Ravens, even though the 49ers are playing at home against the Ravens, we just saw last week how the Ravens can go to the West Coast and they can ball out against whatever team. And it's funny that you mentioned that. I don't know what the record is, but when they bring it up to him, it's kind of like a perfect game for a pitcher. Like, yo, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's like, he don't want to jinx it. Lamar's like, I don't even think about that. Like, he covered his ears last time when they say, he's like, la, 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 la. And then he's like, just spanked the Seahawks after that. So it's like, I'm just saying, man, it's something to this Lamar. Because again, they don't have enough, scheming time against Lamar. They don't see anyone like him in the NFC.
Yeah,
he plays them like it's 100 yards rushing, 200 plus. So yeah, I say the Ravens. That would be a little Super Bowl preview. Not really my Super Bowl preview, but it's gonna be marketed like that week 16.
Yeah,
and I gotta get it. I think the Ravens gonna go in there and win.
That's gonna be a fun. We got a bunch of good games to look forward to. Namely, this week at 4:25 against the Eagles, and the Eagles schedule first in the NFC. They won against the Bills at home. They're at home again against the 49ers, which is a pick'em game. He's saying L. I'm saying I don't know. I don't like to pick against the Eagles because every time I do, they win.
I know I shouldn't.
It's like the Patriots, right? Don't pick against the Patriots back in the day, but. Now and then after this week, they have the Cowboys at Cowboys night game Monday night.
I'm gonna give them a losing streak. I think they're losing back to back.
Losing back to back, so that would put them at 10-3, which would be big meaning for the rest of the NFC. I mean, the Cowboys might be able to jump them even in the NFC East if they lose these 2 games back to back. Then you have an away game against the Seahawks. I'm gonna call that a W.
W.
Giants W, Cardinals W, Giant
W.
and just W.
Giants
Yeah,
again.
so
They lucked out right there.
we're gonna win out.
Yeah, I give them 14-3. That's number 1 seed in NFC.
Yeah, facts. And so the 49ers, when we're looking at these 2 schedules, it's like, are you gonna win out? Can you win out? Because if you can, you have the ability to, be there against the Eagles. If the Eagles slip up one of these games and the Giants just so happen to take them, then you have the chance to take that number 1 seed, which is like for great teams. That's what you want, the number 1 seed, not just the 2nd seed, because only the number 1 seed gets a bye. So that's what they're kind of fighting for. Can we get some rest come January? And this is what the two of the top teams in the NFC, and they're playing this week. So I wanted to look over their schedules real quick, and we got to look over the Cowboys schedule too, because that means a lot. And then we can take a look at the NFC South too, and the muddy waters of the NFC South, because that matters. One of those teams is going to the playoffs. They have to.
We could do that. Yeah, whatever team is kind of there's a hot story for this weekend or a great matchup like this Niners and Eagles, whatever team kind of falls under that, we should have their schedule and kind of, forecast a little bit. That's good stuff.
Next week will be the Eagles and the Cowboys. That's the marquee game of next week already. I mean, that's a marquee game of the week any week, realistically. Cowboys, Eagles, especially now this season. Those teams are crazy.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge, man.
I'm excited for this weekend, more solely because rematch of the NFC Championship game, possibly forecast for what the NFC Championship game might be this year. So hey, we got everything riding on Sunday, but don't miss us on Thursday. I'm gonna look and see what that Thursday game is real quick, because I don't have it up. It must not be anything crazy, because I don't remember it. It's Seahawks Cowboys, actually. Seahawks Cowboys on Thursday night. Maybe we have to get Necron on a Thursday countdown to see how he feels about the Cowboys. But that's probably a W. Probably a W.
He'll be real brave, just like when they play the Commanders on Thanksgiving. He'll be real brave in those games.
Right, yeah. As you should be. But that was the power rankings, the Passmore list, the bottom 5, the MVPs, and we took a look at the Eagles and the 49ers schedule. Syl, do you have anything that you want to promo coming up before we get on out of here?
All right, man, we getting on these sports videos. I figured out my system set up here, so I'm definitely gonna make sure I'm clipping that forecast. That was really, really cool to get that schedule and those graphics. So that's great.
Yeah, dude. I'll have to send them to you too. Thanks.
I'm gonna start doing some more statements of basically, like, it's kind of like that forecast where it's like you're looking ahead. I'm gonna give my thoughts and commentary on some teams. My first one will be the Ravens, and then I'll probably do the Chiefs as well. So I'll probably do a couple teams each week. Just what's the storyline of the week, and I'll just talk about that. So looking forward to that on Still Nation Sports Network. More clips, more content. So we'll have fun with that, man.
Some more statements. And we went over pretty heavily the NFC side of things today. So after this, y'all who are looking at the AFC will have some more content for you, and all the the Swiftie fans will get some content for you too. But I don't know if we're gonna mention Taylor Swift's boyfriend in that, or if Syl will. That's up to him. But obligatory Taylor Swift comment made it into the stream again. So you're welcome, algorithm. Thank you everybody for being here. Make sure you like this. Make sure you comment if you have any reactions. If you hated the list, if you hated my list, probably more so, put it in the comments below. Let us know and share these lists out, because I'm sure everybody has an opinion. But do they have Cowboys at number 2 on their list from a Cowboys hater, which I'm branded as? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Only here on Still Nation Sports Network. So like I said, make sure you're following, subscribe, and make sure that you stay tuned, because those sports statements are going to be cool, and you're going to want to hear some extra commentary from Syl, because I know I do talk a lot on these streams. So thanks everybody again for being here. We'll see y'all on Thursday, the Thursday countdown. Seahawks First the Cowboys, some NFC matchup, and hopefully we get one team that can score more than 10 points in prime time. Please. Please. So for me and Sil, thank you, everybody. We'll see you on Thursday. Peace.